So the other day, today is March 27th, 2015. And the other day when I was out on the back deck showing the snow, I thought that was the last snow, but then that one melted and spring began, and it snowed again. So anyway, this is Out of the Blue number 2, and we are going to again look at Hewat McKenzie. We're going to look at this passage right here. Sorry. The passage of matter through matter. Alright. Beautiful day, beautiful spring day in Chicago, a little cold though. The passage of matter through matter. Page 90. It is some years since the author witnessed this manifestation of psychic powers by 3 Japanese mediums, 2 young women and an old man. The exhibition being given at the London Pavilion to large audiences. The London Daily Mail described this as the most wonderful and baffling exhibition of human power ever witnessed. 2 only of their manifestations will be here described. The first being that of the passage of matter through matter, carried out in the full blaze of stage lights as follows. The author, The author tied the man's wrists together with several pieces of rope, canvas, and string. These he sealed in such a way that it was humanly impossible to undo them without breaking the seal. 6 wooden hoops, polished American bicycle rims, were carefully inspected by the author and other members of the audience and found to be quite solid. Now I want to take a little side note here. Wooden bicycle rims. See what I'm saying? The rims were thrown one at a time into the air, and as they fell, they were caught upon the arm of the old man. The first portion of the rim piercing the arm, but not the second, until all 6 hung upon his arm. This being done while his wrists were still tied. Members of the audience were invited to inspect these and take them, if possible, from his arm without disturbing the tied wrists. Several, after spending some considerable time in effort, gave it up as impossible. While these wooden hoops still dangled upon the arm of the medium, which he held extended, and his wrists still tied, they were dropped one by one onto the floor of the stage, and as each of them passed through his arm, a peculiar hissing sound was heard, often noticed when matter passes through matter in the psychic laboratory. The hoops in this case were in no way affected by the power which dematerialized the arm of the medium as they passed through it. So that's Hewat McKenzie, and we'll see his picture now. Hewat McKenzie himself. There'll be more. Round 2 of Out of the Blue. More to come. Well, here's a bummer. So just outside reading, the wind blew while I was holding the page down. Blew a hole. That was where my thumb was. Blew a hole right through the page, because this is an old book, and this old paper has acid in it, and the acid eats away at the old paper. That's why today they talk about acid-free paper, because this is what happens. But I'm going to continue a little bit out of this book because of something he said. So the next illusion was a water illusion, and he says, after that he says, "Such spectacles as these are difficult to describe, especially as seemingly similar exhibitions are accomplished by purely mechanical means, or illusion. But these were real exhibitions of psychic power produced by the cooperation of unseen spirit beings, and no mirrors, wires, or unseen machinery were used in their production. Many other exhibitions of mediumistic power are shown from time to time upon our public platforms, and could be described, but those given are sufficient to prove that the laws governing psychic phenomena are sufficiently well known to enable them to be produced day after day with unfailing regularity." So, some might conclude that J. Hewat McKenzie was simply fooled. He believed these were really happening. So, that's magic, right? He was fooled by a stage magician to the point where he thought the person was really doing it. So people can be fooled. We know this. But I'm going to be talking about a different kind of magic. This book right here. The Magic and Mystery of Words. Now, I didn't mean to, but when the wind blew and cut a hole in that page, first of all, look at how this is embossed. This is an embossed cover. This is a nice first edition of this book. Very nice blue, cobalt blue. And I just damaged it by reading out in the wind. And what I said was, if you listen, I said crap. I said, oh crap. So there's a word we can look at, crap. Where does that word come from? We all know what it means, but where does it come from? It comes from a guy named Crapper, who invented the flush toilet. Or he had some, I'm not exactly sure what his innovation was, but you can look it up. Crapper improved the toilet in some way, and his improvement enabled his, it was such a good improvement that his name has entered our language as a word, to take a crap. Now it's likely that he did not foresee this, and that it is likely that he wanted to succeed, but he didn't necessarily want his family name, Crapper, to become a noun, crap. But that is the magic of words. And this is whole chapter 1, what words are. What is a word? I mean, we all know what a word is. So is there really even any point in talking about it? Right? But then you're using words to describe words. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. It was just a bummer that I broke my book. I broke a page out of my book. So this book will eventually disintegrate. But that's the bad news. The good news is this book is printed on better paper. This is acid-free paper, so it will not disintegrate. But the other good news is this book is online in its entirety, because it's in the public domain. You can search for it and find the entire book, and you can scroll through the entire book. And we're going to be talking more about the later chapters, laws operating in the spirit spheres. J. Hewat brings up this, what he calls the superphysical continents. So he's talking about, I'm in Chicago right now, and which is on the continent of North America, and according to him, there's a superphysical North America above the land that we're in. So he was a British writer, and so he claims to have visited the superphysical continents above England. So we're going to get into that soon, and so there's lots on the horizon to look forward to. And that's it for now. We'll talk more We'll talk more tomorrow. Today is Friday the 27th. Tomorrow, the 28th, we have a show, and you're invited.